Next up is another drama, this time from the guys at Channel 4. It's called Baghdad Central, and I'm going to do what he hates and ask Matt to set this up.
Oh, God, again. So this is set in Baghdad.
I believe in the centre of Baghdad as well.
Yeah, the very centre of it.
2003, I think.
Yes,
Have I got that right?
It is.
Second Gulf War.
The Second Gulf War, sort of American-occupied Baghdad. The main guy is a former policeman in the Baghdad force. He has two daughters, one of whom has got a kidney infection, the other of whom is at university, and he finds out early on is working for the Americans. Mm-hmm. There's then a separate story with this American fella who's kidnapped by this other family who believe that he was instrumental in beating up or injuring a cousin. The police officer guy is kidnapped under false pretenses, tortured, believed to be in the militia, eventually freed and meets Bertie Carvel's character, who is this guy who's trying to convert sort of Iraqi police officers to help the Americans. Have I got that right?
Well, he's trying to rebuild the Iraqi police force for when the Americans leave.
Pretty good. I felt like I just watched it again. Thank you, Matt.
Well, I could do the accents as well.
Oh, don't do the accents. Gary, Gary, how do you feel about this?
I would say above lukewarm about this one. I was a little bit annoyed about. I felt
myself a bit hot.
That's gonna be the new spin-off podcast, isn't it? Lukewarm.
Lukewarm, yeah. I particularly like the attention to detail, how when they arrested the police officer, they likened him to the Three of Diamonds. Now, those of you that weren't old enough or around, didn't pay attention enough, in the Second Gulf War, the Americans handed out these cards of the most dangerous people that they wanted to collect, and they were done in packs of cards, and of course, the more high-ranking, the higher your card, like your aces, your kings, your queens were. So doing that was good. I think also as well, that tension between the Baghdadis, the Americans, even the British, as you say, the character that was playing a Brit there as someone who was going to stay behind, that was all done rather well. I didn't like the fact that you switched between English speaking and then subtitles. Only in the sense that I kind of felt like this should be one or the other. I would have been quite happy if it was subtitles.
I agree.
I didn't want it to switch between the two.
I agree with you.
But I think the main character was quite believable. The main police officer, a former police officer, he had this kind of gruff but quite believable exterior. He was quite kind of a matter of fact, but also clearly seemed to care about his daughter.
I think the character's name is Musin.
Thank you. And some of the family interactions were quite interesting. He's got a sister and a brother-in-law who also helped look after his daughter at university, or she might have lived with them whilst they were at uni. And he was kind of sort of keeping tabs on her via them. And that kind of dynamic was quite good. I didn't quite like the British character. He seemed overtly smug.
Bertie Carvel's character, Frank Temple.
I just think the whole kind of taking your glasses off and sucking the end of your thing and like it was very British stereotype. I kept expecting him to sort of spark up a pipe or something.
I know what you mean.
It was just the way you said it though, sucking on the thing.
Sorry, but no, I mean he sort of did that very, and he was very into rules and regulations and was very sort of anti-American. I don't know. I like the idea that they're rebuilding a police force. So you've got the double kind of like going forward. You've got the double kind of thing of the hunt for his missing daughter and what I assume will become a more police procedural, but a very different police procedural because it's set inside a war zone.
What I liked about this was the sort of, this is what the Iraqis were like, during this period in the Iraq war, we get the sort of Iraqi side of the story, and it's sort of one of those, they're just like us, really, which is a bit patronising to an extent, but I think the family that they focus on are sort of a sympathetic group. I think they give you enough to build sympathy for Musin and his daughter and their world, and the sort of the general Baghdad population, where it's like you never know if you're going to get shot one minute, when you've got a gun pointing in your face. There's this sense of sort of paranoia and things like that with the sort of Western forces in there. But I found this a bit of a slog, if I'm honest, as well. This I don't think is for me. It was a bit sort of plodding. It didn't really intrigue me enough. If I had the time, as you say, if I was going to watch one of these two dramas, it would probably be The Stranger over this.
I feel like you've both summed it up pretty well. I mean, I had to watch this in several goes because I found it a real slug. I really struggled to get into it. Really, it didn't hook me at any point. I appreciated having a drama set in a different world, looking at it from another point of view. I appreciated that, but in the same way, it felt like a drama of years gone by, almost like early Homeland or early Spooks. It didn't feel...
Yeah, there was a touch of Homeland about it.
Yeah,
I'll second that.
It didn't feel like a contemporary piece, although it was set, of course, in 2003. It didn't feel a contemporary story, really. It felt like it's come out of nowhere a little bit. No, I don't think I'll continue either, for the same reasons you say, just because the subtitles annoyed me. It didn't annoy me, I thought it was a bit jarring, is the nicest way of putting it. And the rest of it, I just thought there's not enough character here for me to hang my hat on. And I'm not that invested in the story. It's not normal that I would watch things, in bits. But this I found I had to be in the right frame of mind for it and really give it my time, because otherwise I would drift away and start checking emails and spamming Gary with a load of abuse on Twitter and things.
Yeah. If you could stop doing that.
No, I think it's a bonding exercise. So Baghdad Central airs on Monday nights on Channel 4, or you can binge the whole thing on All 4 if you so wish.